You're one of the best converters, best people at converting people onto like care plans and retaining people. Can you kind of walk me through your consultation process?
So first thing to point out,
Do you have a specific mindset that you try and get into when you are going into a consultation?
it totally is, and a mindset before I even step into the clinic is a big thing.
I'm really excited to hear about the internal systems that you have in your clinic, because 230 visits per week as a solo is very, very impressive stuff.
I've heard it said who you are is way more important than what you do.
Hello, and I am here with another one of our wonderful clients. Simon Gough from Caldwell Chiropractic has a very, very successful practice. I've known Simon for, gosh, it must be like 2 years now. Worked together on and off, and it's been good to be working together again for like the last 2 months. In that 2 months, I believe I'm right with like 160 you were at in terms of visits per week. Now you're at 230. Now that wasn't all down to us, but we have sent him 32 appointments in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to hear about the internal systems that you have in your clinic, because 230 on your own as a solo is very, very impressive stuff. One of the higher amounts with all the clients that we have. So yeah, I'm excited to run through some things with you, Simon. Going to provide a lot of value to the people, but welcome on. I don't know if you want to add anything to the introduction, introduce yourself to the people, and
Well, let's see. I've been a chiropractor for 15 years now. I was previously a drug sales rep for pharmaceutical industry. What else? I've been a maths and English teacher for unemployed people. I was a missionary, Christian missionary for my church in Paris for 2 years. I've cleaned cars, trimmed hedges, worked in factories, driven lorries, whatever. So this is by far the best job I've ever. I'd recommend it to everyone. It's worth the slog at university to get there.
that's I did not know that about you, that you've done so many jobs. I guess it's one of those things where potentially taking skills from all of them and then implementing them into practice as well, like the people skills, like being a teacher. You are probably doing certain things with like teaching patients about how to view their health in a way, but we'll go into that in a bit more detail, I guess. That maybe leads us onto a nice bit of, you're one of the best, I guess, converters, best people at converting people onto like care plans and retaining people. Can you kind of walk me through your consultation process? Mainly because I'm just a bit curious.
So first thing to point out, this is a continual work in progress. I hope that in a year from now, I'll look back and be embarrassed on how I did things, because I'll have learned how to do it better. And I don't feel like any one system is right all the time for everyone. So you have to be very adaptive and be willing to change. We have worked with different coaches. So we've got Tim Young at the moment, so we've got a lot out of him. Joe Borio. There's lots we've got from each of them. So we try and spread a net far and wide, because we need lots of people coming in. So we try and give as many talks as we can to Rotary clubs, Probus, Women's Circle, church groups. We give out I personally give out 5 cards for a reduced price checkup every day to patients. Say, please refer someone in, particularly if they've had a good experience. Say, well, someone else needs to have that good experience. Let them know. We have adverts in lots of magazines. We use yourselves. Website. We have a company that does social media videos for us. So just daft things that get people to know about us. So that's our net. We're constantly adapting, and we do a lot of spinal screenings as well. So over the year we do some of the big shows. We go into companies. That's the net. Now, when it comes to coming in, I want to be as transparent as possible. So we've got a website that says what's going on, pictures of us. Staff are very well trained, and we go over all the processes regularly. And we want to make sure the experience from start to finish is like a Michelin star restaurant. Well, I've been to dental practices where I've spent thousands of pounds over the years with them on different procedures, and you walk in, it's like you've never been there before. Hi, just take a seat. Oh, I've given you loads of my money. I've really showed you a lot of loyalty. The least you can do is say, good morning, Simon. Nice to see you. So as soon as someone walks in, we say, oh, you must be Steve. You've come for a new patient appointment. I'm Simon. This is Gemma. make it a really good experience. We make sure the building is well maintained. So, every couple of months we're always putting something new into the premises, or just making sure it's as good as it can be.
I remember the other day you were painting it. It was on your day off and you were painting the clinic to make sure it's all top notch, which I love. It's great. We
had some really nice lights, but on the machine, my wife loved this chandelier. So we put that in. We had some nice chairs, but we can do better. People are paying a lot of money, so we got rid of those, got some nicer chairs. And we're just constantly trying to evolve and get a little bit nicer. The new patient process. So we like to try and connect as best we can with the patients. The front desk staff, particularly the chiropractor, and let them talk. One thing I've learned through hard experience is it's not about me. Here's me going on about myself, so ironically.
Today it is. For the next 15, 30 minutes about you.
Not to make the consultation or the appointments about me, to tell them about what I've done, what interest I have, but to find out why they're there. Try and find some goals. Once we've got you better, so we assume we're going to get better, what's going to be different in your life? Is there something you can do better once we've sorted this problem out for you? Stand at a concert for the whole duration. Will you be able to do your sports again? Go back to work, pick your grandchild up, and focus on that. We do a lot of functional tests. So not just where does it hurt? Okay, well, let's adjust here. We'll do bilateral weight analysis. Are they massively off? We have a laser plumb line to look at their posture. We have a grip strength test. Thermography, looking at stress patterns. We take x-rays ourselves. That's a massive one I'd recommend everyone do. So that it becomes so much more than where does it hurt. I'm not sure if you can see here, this is our reception. So we've got a TV screen here, and we've got two other rooms where we have patients regularly, and they've all got a TV, and there's a continual PowerPoint presentation going on there, showing people what healthcare really is. Because no matter how many times, every day I tell people what healthcare is, they come in with this idea that they wait until the last resort, until they can't bear it. Hurts here, fix that. You got one visit, maybe 2 or 3. If it's not better, this is a load of rubbish. And so we're trying to give them ownership. You've got to look after yourself. Your lifestyle has a massive impact. And we're here to help you, but we've got to work together. So that's a huge part. And regularly during the patient process, I'll do one of those functional tests. So if I've got a long enough gap between patients, I'll say, right, before you go, we're just going to check your grip strength, as that's reflective of how healthy the nerves are in your neck. Well, look, that's improved. So that plus all your functional changes, can you see how that's changing? Let's look at the x-rays. So can you remember what the original problem was? Right, so how long do you think that was there? Oh yeah, I've forgotten actually. You'd said it was 5 years, so this is not new. And how long is this going to take? Oh, I've forgotten. They also have forgotten. And you need to remind them again and again and again. And then you say, right, well, when we've finished this process, what's my job? Oh, yeah, because nearly every chiropractic patient I've ever met, they're there for pain relief. As soon as the pain's calmed down enough, they're gone. If it's agony again, they might come back. Because that's what I was brought up with, and that's how we've interacted with most health professionals. So we say, well, our job is just like your dentist or your personal trainers. Once we've got you well, keep it that way. That will need regular checkups. You wouldn't go for months without brushing your teeth and then suddenly brush them for 4 hours in one day and expect it to be healthy. Okay. So day one, jumping ahead of myself, functional tests, x-rays if we need, palpate, and tell them, yes, this is definitely a chiropractic case and you're in the right place, or I don't think we can help you, let's try and find something else. Now, I will take a bit of time to look over all the results, so it's not rushed. And on the second visit, report back and say, just to recap, this is what we found. These are the stressed areas. And you see why that is causing your problems. Okay, so we do the adjustment. They get up, feel amazing. Right, let's discuss the game plan. So based on your case, you need intense periods of so many visits a week for a while. We've got to make sure that we keep that process going. So just like when braces come off of teeth, the teeth want to migrate back. This, even if we get it feeling the best it's ever felt, we'll probably want to go back within 6 months, a year or two. So we need to keep that. So we then wean off to once a week, and then we look at maintaining it.
Is that what your maintenance is? Is it once a week for you, or is it?
Well, the average is monthly. We have some people come in weekly, some come in once a year. My job's just to say, based on your history, your age, you need this. Do with it as you please.
Yeah, I completely agree with a lot of the stuff you said there. And one of the things I found interesting, because there's this, I guess, like, almost divide. I'd be interested to get your perspective on why you think X-rays are so useful, and why you find them to be such a useful. Because I went to my chiropractor, Filippo, is very similar to you in the way you practice. He actually did the grip test on me when I first went to, and I got my first proper initial consultation. I found it very strange, like how I was massively out of the sort of the KPI where I should have been, the metric that I should have been, and then like seeing it change as I've gone along as well, like the grip test, which is great. But I was interested to get your perspective on that with X-rays. We kind of spoke about the grip test a little bit more, but the X-rays specifically. So
I think we've got to explore why you wouldn't take X-rays before we look at why you would. So there is a fear instilled in us at university that we're going to kill people. A neck adjustment might kill someone. Well, my daughter's just graduated last year, and you can see it in her eyes. Oh, this might be a GCC case. Oh, rather than being confident. And I was totally like that for years. You just get told again and again, this is really dangerous. You might hurt someone. And we get told that with X-rays. You know, X-rays might kill someone. You know, you could cause all these problems. And they should be respected. And there needs to be regulations on them, and there need to be regular checks, definitely. But I personally think it's been scaled out of proportion. When you look at where these ideas have come from, they look at when people have had massive X-ray doses, and then they scale that down. So the chance of a set of chiropractic X-rays causing a problem is so minuscule. And that same patient would think nothing of going to the doctor, and they say, well, we need to get more detail. We'll get a CT scan, which is dozens and dozens worth of what I would do. There's the cost as well. It costs a lot of money to install. And once you get X-rays in your business, you've got just someone else that can come into your business, say, oh, I've got a checklist of things you need to do, and I want to come and regulate you and fine you for this, or give you these recommendations. It's just more hassle. So I can see why some people don't want to do it. And that's fine. I think we should respect that. It shouldn't be obligatory. But why would I take it? I've got a whole folder of dozens and dozens of cases when I've X-rayed and found something that I didn't see on my physical exam. You ask anyone who has been using X-rays, have you ever found things you didn't know were there, were on the physical exam? Every one of them is going to say yes. Sometimes you'll find a cancer, a break. We had one lady that came in, oh, it's really uncomfortable, and she's just been palmed off by the GP, goes to the hospital, palmed off with more painkillers. Or just keep taking these painkillers, it'll go away, it's just muscles or something. We X-ray it. For these two cases, one had a compression fracture just from stepping off a bus, and another, it was like a massive slip on the bone, and the spinal cord was close to getting severed. And I sent both of them immediately that day to the hospital. And one had surgery that day, one was the next day. Now both had been palmed off by pharmacist, GP, hospital initially, because they'd done a physical exam and it didn't come up with anything. Now, I would rather X-ray a little bit more people than others would think necessary, and find one or two cases where I shouldn't adjust someone. and save causing them more harm. That's my thinking.
I think it's very, very logical, and it gives you. I think it's great for. There's a video on Filippo's Instagram of like Francesca's X-rays, and like it's great for the patient understanding as well because it's very visual. We found it very helpful, like being on the other side of it, looking at X-rays. I can see the benefits.
Right. How many times you chat to any chiropractor, patients come in and there's just this expectation. Well, it hurts here, so you need to make that better. But that's got nothing to do. I mean, when someone's having an arm pain, what are you going to do? Rub the arm, or do you need to maybe do heart surgery because the arteries are getting blocked? And it's the same with what we do. So we've got to find out the root cause of the problem. And if we are going in without X-rays, in many cases, we're going in blind. We've got some idea. You're doing nothing, but if you've got it, we are so lucky. The UK is I think, the only country in the European Union that can take X-rays. So you chat to chiropractors in Germany, Norway, Spain, they're not allowed. So
I didn't know that.
No, it's illegal, and you'd have to employ a radiologist. I'm not sure if they're even allowed to refer for X-rays. So we've got this amazing privilege of this diagnostic tool, which compared to, say, CT scans is extremely safe. So when used properly, yes, amazing. Hope that's answered your question. I waffled on a little bit.
No, I think it's great. It's very interesting to hear your perspective on it because I haven't heard it said in that way before, which is and the stories were great. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Staying on like the initial consultation side of things, is there like a specific? I don't know how you feel about this because I don't know if we've ever really spoken about it. Do you have a specific mindset that you try and get into when you are going into a consultation, or is that not really your thing?
It totally is, and a mindset before I even step into the clinic is a big thing. I've heard it said, who you are is way more important than what you do. You think about if you go on a date with someone, the person you turn up as is way more important than the words you say or the flowers you give or what you do for the date. And the same as a chiropractor, if I'm not looking after my physical, mental, spiritual health before I even step in the building, I'm not going to be able to connect as well with them. I'm not going to set a good example. Yeah.
And so, because I know you do a lot of hiking, I think that helps with obviously the physical, the mental health side of things. So obviously that's like a practical thing you do. And is there anything you're doing like maybe 5 minutes before initial consult, or any like tips or tricks, or is it just generally just following good fundamentals like going hiking, for example?
There are tons of tips. We could do a whole podcast on this. One I've done in the last year is turn my phone off and put it face down out of the way, because I might have a ping come up and it might be one of my kids or a friend that's got something. It's not unimportant, but I'm there to see patients. So I need to be totally focused in the zone and forget everything else.
Amazing.
And I go in calm. So I walk, even if I'm behind, I try and walk at a normal speed and use a normal tone, speed of voice, rather than, hi, I'm Simon, and lovely to see you. If you want to lie down, just, how can I help you? What brings you to see us, Dan? So they don't need to know that I'm running late or that I've got loads of stress or I've just had a big bill come up because something's broken in the building. They just want my attention and to know that I'm listening to them. That's how I try and approach it.
Which takes a lot of mental power to be able to do that. Like even with me in the role that like I have in this company, it's like sometimes I'll have things like that, but you need to, when you are rushing and if people feel like you're not giving that time and attention, it does ruin the experience a little bit. Is there like what's the best way to be able to develop the skill set of doing that? I have something that I've done that's helped me, but I'd be interested to hear your perspective before maybe I share mine.
You're asking how to get in the right mindset when you're about to start working?
Or I'll elaborate on it a little bit more. More when you do have like other stresses going on in life, how do you just get yourself centered and try and forget about that and just take your time, even if you are running late, even if you have had that bill? Like, is there any like habits you have, mental models you have that have helped with that?
Having the right is good. So having enough sleep, sorting out as much stuff as you can in your own life. So you're not bringing so much. You can't sort it all out. You're always going to have stuff in the background. In looking after your body, so your mind can work. When I see this with some people that are clearly abusing their bodies, and they just can't stay focused on tasks for very long, and they get ill very often. I think a lot of health professionals, including chiropractors, don't get care themselves enough. And I've seen this with my patients, with myself. If someone is having regular care, it keeps them more mentally sharp, as well as all the neurological and physical benefits. So when I started practice, I would go and see someone if I was at a course, or maybe if I was really sore, I'd drive to the next town. And now, religiously, I'll book in at least once a month with someone and pay for it if I need to, rather than waiting 3 months to the next seminar. One tip I've got, I've just come in today to do some work. I've got a to-do list. So I can put things down on there and then just pick one off, focus on it. And if during it, I think of another job, rather than splitting off and doing that and then splitting off, and I'm sure I've got a little bit of ADHD in me where I'm constantly flitting from jobs. I'll write it down. Right, when I've got time, I'll come back to that list and know that is there. I've looked after that as much as I can for now. I'm just going to focus on this email or this podcast.
I have a similar thing. I call it the brain dump. So like any thoughts, anything I'm thinking of, ideas, just get it out of your head, because then you can stay focused on the main thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that for me, I think there was a study on this as well. It's like when you are switching between tasks, that's actually where you're giving a lot of energy. Using a lot of energy when you switch between the tasks. I noticed this, like when I finish a task, I have a lot of resistance towards then going on to the next one. Whereas when you're in it for like an hour, it's fine. It's always the resistance when you're switching. So yeah, when you're constantly doing that, you're using loads of energy.
Yeah.
One that helped me was meditation, doing that. And I'm still not as consistent as I want to be with meditation, but doing that has helped with being able to just like slow it down. I find now, since doing it, is that I'm very conscious of my breath throughout the day, just generally now, and I'm trying to breathe through my stomach to make it, because it helps regulate your nervous system, I believe. You probably know more about this than me, so but I believe I'm right.
You are inclined, prayer, service as well, giving of yourself for other people regularly. Now, I've always been a churchgoer, so I've got lots of opportunities there. If you're not, there's charities galore in every town that would absolutely love to have an hour of your time per week or per month. I would suggest once a day, think of someone that would really do with a phone call or a text, an email, and just message them. It takes seconds. But to put your focus on someone else where you're not going to get anything back, gets you in the right frame of mind. Because we're trying to help people with their healthcare. I mean, yeah, we get paid and we want a successful business, but we've got to be there because we love them, because we care for them, fellow human being. We want them to have the best life possible.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's some really good mental model tips that people can take away. I think we'll wrap it up there, because I think I don't want to take too much of your time. But I do have one other question for you, which is there anything else that you feel like because we get some people coming and they'll watch this video that are potentially new grads or starting their own clinic now, like key tips or ideas for them and takeaways that they can implement that you wish you knew when you started?
Keep learning. So once you've left university, that's when it begins. 10 years in, you're warming up. 20 years in, you've still got lots to learn. So don't get complacent ever. So keep going to shadow clinics. Everyone, I think, should have a business coach, chiropractic specific, who you're accountable to. I mean, I could go on for hours, but those are a few.
Amazing.
I'm 15 years in, and I like to try and shadow 2 or 3 clinics a year. I have a weekly call with my business coach. I'm having some of the other people that coach with Tim Young over to my clinic in 2 weeks, and we're going to chat for a day about procedures, technique. I don't need to do it. If there was no regulations from the GCC, I think I've got enough skills now that I could get by for the rest of my career. I don't have to go on another course. I'm getting enough people well. So I want to make sure I don't do it just to tick a box and say, yeah, GCC registration done, but because I want to be a better version of myself. I want to show up for my patient a better version than I was last week.
Staying humble, it sounds like. Always learning.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I've met a few people that have got a big head. They might have a big clinic, well, nice car, house, and they think they're all that. You're not all that. I've met, what's his name? I can't remember his first name, Dr. Palmer. He's a chiropractor in the UK. He's been in practice for 30 years. When I saw him last at a syntropy course, and I was like 12 years in at this stage, and the guy looked like he's just come out of university. Hi, I'm Simon. Tell me how you practice. You know, what can I learn from you? But whereas you see some people, even just a couple of years in, look at me. I'm a graduate. You know, I paid off my student loan. Aren't I clever? I'm earning $1,000 a month. Get over yourself. There's always someone better. Just be humble enough to learn from everyone you meet.
Amazing. Yeah, and I hope that a lot of people got some good takeaways from you, because that's been extremely helpful stuff, and I've taken some stuff away as well from this. And I have the one other final bit, and I did say that was the final question, but I do have the last bit, which is where, because you've been with us for, well, we've worked on and off with each other for like 2 years now. This is a bit where you tell people a little bit about us.
Yeah.
So just 3 very quick questions for you, Simon. The first one being, how has your experience been with Align Flow so far? And maybe it'd be interesting to hear about the journey, because you've kind of seen a big shift in the company as well, because you were with us in the very early days, and now you're with us now, which obviously we, staying humble, have a very long way to go too, but we've definitely changed a lot since we first started working together to now.
Good. Well, I think you've always been very approachable. There's no ego. I've worked with some companies that do marketing. I'm an executive, and you know, almost talk down to you because you're just a business owner. And whereas we chat and we're just fellow businessmen, we're trying to do what's best for our business. So I like that. I like the fact that you've tried to refine your business model. So when we first started, we were getting a lot more people come through from your adverts who weren't going to stick. Whereas now, because you get them to pay a deposit, you have a questionnaire for them, you talk to them and wheedle out people that are going to be time wasters, basically. So I'd rather have 5 good quality leads than 30 rubbish ones that never come back.
Amazing.
And I think you are getting better and better each year at giving us better quality leads.
Which is the goal. We still have some very cool things coming this year, this quarter, next quarter, which will boost it even more. But I think one of the biggest differences for you, like looking at your experience, was definitely like you were getting, and you still do get so many leads, but when you were handling the calls yourself, it's way too much. Like you had like 200 leads in a month or something at one point when you were doing the calls.
And even with weekends, lunchtimes, along with all the other admin, we didn't have time for that. So it's way cheaper to pay you guys to do what you're good at.
Amazing. And what would you say to someone who's considering working with us? Because I think you actually have given us some referrals, but what would you say to other people who are maybe watching this?
Give it a try. I think it works great for us, and it's a great part of our fishing net to bring new people into the clinic. You can't rely just on this or any one thing, not even just referrals, I think. But it's an amazing way, and I love how you can put more money into it if you need a little bit more. I'm doing well, so we just drop the budget. Just try it and jump in.
Amazing. Well, thank you very, very much, Simon. I don't know if you do any like coaching. Sounds like maybe you do like shadowing sessions that people can come and see the clinic. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to, where people could reach out to you.
Very happy to. I'm very happy for anyone to come. We're here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's the other thing. Reduce your hours, make patients work around you rather than stretch yourself out too much. I'm happy for anyone to reach out and come and shadow us. I don't do any coaching, but I can recommend Tim Young and other people that are amazing coaches that do just that as a business.
Amazing. That's a really nice point as well. Like you would refer people out, even though you could definitely be a coach. You have the skill set too, but you stay in your lane, working on and becoming the best practitioner you can be, which is very, very impressive stuff. Well done, Simon. Thank you very, very much for coming on.
You're welcome. Lovely chatting to you, Dan.